Let's be honest. Most people think being good with money is about being good at math. We think that if we just memorize enough formulas, stare at enough spreadsheets, and learn what a Roth IRA actually is, we will suddenly become billionaires. But if money were just about math, mathematicians would be the richest people on earth. Instead, they are usually teaching high school algebra and driving a Honda Civic from 2004. The truth is, doing well with money has a little to do with how smart you are and a lot to do with how you behave. Today, we are summarizing The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. This book is fantastic because it teaches you that finance isn't physics, it's psychology. It is messy, emotional, and usually completely irrational. Here are the top 5 lessons from the book that will stop you from going broke while trying to look rich. Lesson 1. No one is crazy. We all judge people on how they spend their money. You might see someone spending $500 on a pair of sneakers and think, that is insane! But to them, it makes total sense. Housel argues that your view of money is shaped almost entirely by the economy you grew up in. If you were born in Germany in the 1920s, when inflation was so bad people burned cash to stay warm, you probably don't trust banks. If you were born in America in the 1990s, during the tech boom, you probably think the stock market is a magical money printer that only goes up. Imagine a person who grew up in poverty. To them, buying a flashy car as soon as they get a paycheck isn't stupid, it's a survival mechanism. They're thinking, I better spend this cash now before something bad happens and takes it away. So when you see your Uncle Dave hoarding canned beans and burying gold bars in the backyard, don't laugh at him. He isn't crazy. He's just operating on a different version of history than you are. We are all just victims of our own birthdays. Lesson 2. Luck and risk are siblings. We love to tell ourselves that success is caused by hard work and failure is caused by bad luck. If I become a millionaire, it's because I'm a genius who wakes up at 4 a.m. and drinks kale smoothies. If you go broke, it's because you are lazy. But the book reminds us that luck plays a massive role. Let's look at Bill Gates. Bill Gates is obviously a genius and a hard worker. But he also happened to attend one of the only high schools in the world that had a computer in 1968. If he had gone to a different high school, there would be no Microsoft. On the flip side, Kent Evans had a friend named Kent Evans. He was just as smart and just as ambitious as Bill. He was supposed to found Microsoft with him. But before he finished high school, Kent died in a mountaineering accident. Bill Gates experienced 1 in a million luck. Kent Evans experienced 1 in a million risk. Same potential, different outcomes. The lesson here is simple. Be careful who you praise and be careful who you look down on. Sometimes the difference between a billionaire and a bankrupt guy is just which way the wind was blowing on a Tuesday in 1980. Lesson 3. Getting wealthy is different than staying wealthy. This is my favorite point in the book. Getting money requires taking risks, being optimistic, and putting yourself out there. It's like driving a race car. You have to floor it. But keeping money, that requires the exact opposite psychology. It requires fear. It requires paranoia. It requires you to look at your bank account and constantly think, this could all disappear tomorrow. There is a huge list of celebrities and athletes who made millions and lost it all. Why? Because they approached spending money with the same aggression they used to make money. If you want to stay rich, you need to be a little bit boring. You need to survive. Warren Buffett is the richest investor ever, not because he makes the highest annual returns. He's actually an average investor in terms of yearly percentage. He is the richest because he has been investing for 80 years and he never blew up his account. He survived. So to be rich, you have to be a risk taker. To stay rich, you have to be a coward. It's a weird balance, kind of like trying to do yoga while fighting a bear. Lesson 4. The man in the car paradox. We all want to get rich so people will respect us. We think if I drive a Ferrari, everyone will look at me and think I am cool. But here's the funny tragedy. When you drive a Ferrari down the street, people do stare. But they're not looking at you. They're looking at the car. They're thinking, wow, that's a cool car. If I had that car, people would think I'm cool. They don't care about the driver. You could be a golden retriever driving that car, and they would have the exact same reaction. Housel calls this the man in the car paradox. You believe that wealth signals status, but to everyone else, your wealth is just a mirror for their own daydreams. So stop buying expensive things to impress people. They don't care about you. They're too busy thinking about themselves. And honestly, that should be a relief. It saves you a lot of money. Lesson 5. Wealth is what you don't see. This is the hardest concept for our monkey brains to understand. We rely on visual cues. If we see a guy in a Lamborghini, we say, he is rich. But the only thing we know for sure about that guy is that he has $300,000 less than he did before he bought the car. Or worse, he has $300,000 of debt. We tend to judge wealth by what people have bought. But true wealth is actually the money you have not spent. Wealth is the nice car not purchased, the diamond watch not worn, the first-class upgrade declined. Wealth is options. Wealth is the ability to quit your job because your boss is annoying. Wealth is the ability to wake up and say, I can do whatever I want today. Rich is a high income that is spent on visible stuff. Wealth is income that is saved and hidden. The problem is, it's really hard to admire hidden things. You can't see someone's savings account, so we don't put saving money on a pedestal. We can't see the stress that someone doesn't have because they have an emergency fund. We try to copy the rich people we see on Instagram, but we are only copying their spending, not their earning. That is the fastest way to go broke. So, what is the final takeaway? Morgan Housel suggests that you shouldn't try to be perfectly rational with money. You're a human, not a spreadsheet. You're going to have emotions. Instead of trying to be rational, try to be reasonable. If paying off your mortgage gives you peace of mind, do it, even if a mathematician says you should invest that money instead. If keeping a bunch of cash under your mattress helps you sleep at night, fine. The goal of money isn't to have the biggest number. The goal of money is to control your time, because doing what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want, is the highest dividend money pays. So stop trying to impress strangers, save more than you spend, and remember, true wealth is the ability to wake up and say, I own my time. If you found this summary helpful, please like the video. It helps the algorithm find more people who need to stop buying cars they can't afford. Subscribe for more book summaries, and I will see you in the next one.